Slava Isus Christus, Slava Navika, glory be to Jesus Christ, glory be forever. It's Father Basil again, doing another podcast and talking again about the book of Genesis. And we are now on chapter 14, talking about Abram and Sarai, who would become Abraham and Sarah, and all their descendants would be the Israelites, the people of Israel, who were, of course, God's chosen people. So we in Genesis, it's talking about people's relationship with God, right from Adam and Eve, to Cain and Abel, to Noah, and all the people after Noah. That relationship that God has with the people of the earth. And are we listening to God, or are we rejecting God? So that's basically what the Bible is about, a relationship with God. So here's chapter 14 of Genesis. In the days of King Amraphel of Shinar, King Ariak of Elisar, King Chedorlaomer of Elam, and King Tidal of Gorim. These kings made war with King Bera of Sodom, King Bertha of Gomorrah, King Shinab of Admah, King Semabar of Jobiam, and the king of Bela, that is Zor. All these joined forces in the valley of Siddim, that is the Dead Sea. 12 years they had served Chedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him came and subdued the Rephaim in Ashtaroth Karnaim, and the Zuzim in Ham, the Emim in Shava Kiriatayim, and the Horites in the hill country of Seir, as far as El Paran on the edge of the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to Enmispat, that is Kadesh, and subdued all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites who lived in Hazeron Tamar. Then the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zor, went out, and they joined battle in the valley of Siddim with King Chedorlaomer of Elam, King Tidal of Goim, King Amraphel of Shinar, and King Ariak of Elisar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of bitumen pits, and as the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some fell into them, and the rest fled into the hill country. So the enemy took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their provisions and went their way. They also took Lot, the son of Abram's brother, who lived in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Then one who had escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew, who was living by the oaks of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and of Aner. These were allies of Abram. When Abram heard that his nephew had been taken captive, he led forth his trained men, born in his house, 318 of them, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, he and his servants, and routed them and pursued them to Hebel, north of Damascus. Then he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his nephew Lot with his goods, and the women and the people. After his return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him at the valley of Shava, that is the king's valley. And King Melchizedek of Salem brought out bread and wine. He was the priest of God Most High. He blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram by God Most High, maker of heaven and earth. And blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. And Abram gave him 1/10 of everything. Then the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the persons, but take the goods for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have sworn to the Lord God Most High, maker of heaven and earth, that I would not take a thread or a sandal thong or anything that is yours, so that you might not say, I have made Abram rich. I will take nothing but what the young men have eaten, and the share of the men who went with me, Aner, Eshriel, and Mamre. Let them take their share. So that is chapter 14 of the book of Genesis. The wars that Abram fought against the people of his time. And again, the Bible sometimes could be a historical book talking about what happened during that time period, about the wars, about the battles that were fought amongst people. But that's not the main goal of the Bible. It does have history in it. You know, the Bible has historical facts in it about wars and about the people who lived at that time, but that's not the point of the Bible. The point of the Bible is not to be a history book, but the point of the Bible is to be a book telling of the relationship between God and his chosen people. And so this is the start of God, choosing Abram to be the person who all the descendants, all the Israelites are going to come from. And there's this, with God, there's always, we have to learn how to trust him. We have to learn how to trust God in every way. And this is what Abram was doing during his life. He had to learn to trust God, to learn how to do God's will, whether it be in battle against his enemies, whether we will find out next time I do this podcast, Abram and Sarai, Sarah, his wife, was not able to have a child for a long time. And, it's all about trusting in God's will. Trusting that God's decisions are going to be the best for us. It's not what we want, it's what God deems important for us. And that's the most important thing. And we'll find out about Abram in later chapters. So, this building that trust with God, building that trust in our everyday life, what we're doing, that's what the Bible's all about. God bless.